Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. This is Abdelrahman, a 6th-year medical student from the Hashemite University in Jordan, and in this video I'm going to talk about my step 1 experience. Now let's get started. So basically the actual studying duration for my exam was 7 months. Now to be honest with you, before this 7 months I used to watch the Kaplan videos, the basic science videos for Kaplan, and they were really good. I used to watch them mainly for my school exams. So this was like during my 2nd and my 3rd year. My exam was in my 5th year. As you notice, there is a gap between my willing to take this exam and the actual taking the exam, and this is a problem actually, because having a gap is something that you don't want. Later on I will talk to you about my mistakes, but bear this in mind because this is one of the most important things to remember about my experience. Regarding the sources I used, well, nothing fancy. First aid, UWorld, and BRS for physiology and for biostatistics. Now this is what you need for your exam. You don't need more than this. You may not need BRS, it's like an optional for you. I would add to this list the biochemistry videos. Now other than these, Dr. Sam, of course, biochemistry videos, 2010 or 2014, not a big difference actually. You can choose one of them. But other things, you have a lot of videos, you have a lot of like big companies making step 1 videos. They're very good actually, but you don't need them. Here I'm talking to you about the things that you really need in my point of view. Now other things, you have a lot of videos. You have doctor in training videos, the IT videos. They're really good, but I believe that you should see videos for things that you believe that you're weak in. For example, if you're good at pathology and physiology, you don't need a lot of videos for this. But if you're weak at microbiology, you may need assistance that comes in many forms. DIT videos, Kaplan videos, for example, for microbiology may be a good option. So this is the list that you need: First Aid, UWorld, BRS, and Dr. Sam's videos. Okay, next thing is the story itself. Now I started to think about this in my basic years, during the 2nd and 3rd year, but I didn't decide to take it until my 5th year in medical school. Now as you notice, there's a gap, and I already talked about it, and this is a big mistake actually. In my 5th year I decided to take the exam. This 7 months of preparation, and then I take it. Preparation was mainly focusing on solving questions and reading first aid, and searching Google for the things that I believe I'm weak in and for the answers that I'm not convinced with. Exam experience itself, the day of the exam I mean here, was nothing fancy also. It was like just a regular exam. You know, you go there. I don't know why, but before the exam I was very worried and anxious. In the exam day I was very cool and relaxed actually. So in the exam things went very smoothly actually, no problems. I went there, they took the profile, your name, your number, all these things, and then you enter your exam. You enter your ID, you start your examination. Just, you know, questions as in MBME and in UWorld, nothing fancy. Regarding the length of the questions, I know a lot of you like to talk about this. My exam was I had like questions 1 to 2 sentences, I had like 10% of questions was like a paragraph, 4 to 5 sentences, but they were like 10% of the total exam. So it's not like the major question. Majority of the question were like 2 sentences, maximum 3. And I had the questions 1 sentence, like in MBME. So it's not something to worry about. I believe you should worry about the thinking process itself, and how much do you memorize and how much do you understand. This is the thing that you should be you know, taking care of more. Now I don't want to spend a lot of time on the things that other experiences focus on. I want to make my experience a little bit unique. So how to score high? I know this is a big question that all of you want to know the definitive answer for this, and there's no definitive answer, but my point of view is that you can score high by taking care of the 4 things I'm going to mention. First, take your time during preparation. Please don't rush yourself, especially if you're international students. No one will give you like a certain time frame to take your exam, so taking extra time, 1 or 2 months, may be a good option for you if you feel that you're weak and you're not confident in a certain topic. Solving as much questions as you can. I believe that the best way to study for this exam is the question banks. Yes, this is a very controversial idea. What is the best way to study for medical exams in general, and especially step 1? I believe that you will prepare you very well for taking the exam, not just in terms of information, but also in terms of thinking, how you think, you know, your ability to think and to connect things and to solve multi-level questions. So it's important to solve as much question as you can. Now I advise you to start with a question bank other than you, maybe Kaplan question bank. Having more than 1 question bank is good for you, so that you take, you know, multiple mentalities. Kaplan question bank, I believe it's second to your word, so it's the best thing after your word that you can do. So you can start with Kaplan question bank as soon as possible. Maybe after your first month, you need at least 7 to 8 months of actual preparation, you know, focused preparation. Out of these, maybe the first or second month you can start Kaplan question bank, but you need at least 4 months of your work. This is the important point not to miss. You need at least 4 months of your work. Take your time with this question bank, solve it at least 1 time. Doing it multiple times is also very good. You need at least 4 months of focused study. It's very good. You will notice a lot of improvement, I promise you. The third point is try to understand and not to memorize the question. Now, of course, this is a medical exam. All the medical exams, they need memorization. Those who tells you that this exam is just like a understanding exam, they are not very accurate. This is a medical exam. Any medical exam in the world need a good memory, so you need to memorize. But the point is that if you want to score good and a decent score, you need to understand the question. You need to understand, for example, why choice D is wrong. For example, you read the question and you chose A or B or C, and you chose the wrong answer. You need to know why, not just to know the information about this question. You need to know why A is wrong, why B is wrong, why C is wrong. This is very important for you, and this is having this mentality helps you to ace the difficult questions in your exam. Now, on your exam, most of the questions, they are like moderate to easy questions. I believe that those who put the exam, they have a category called WTF, if you know what I mean. They have a category called WTF questions, and those type of questions, you cannot prepare for them, you know. The only preparation for them is a mentality, is a way to thinking. For example, you read a question, you know, it's like irrelevant, it's something weird. You can exclude 2 options out of 4, 3 options out of 5, but you cannot exclude and rest on 1 answer. So how to ace this type of question is to have exclusion. It's called answering by exclusion. This is very important for you to practice, and you will, if you knew each answer, why this is wrong and why this is right, you can use this method very easily, and it will become like a nature. The last point is that having diploma is a must, or reading diploma is a must. Now, I know also this is very controversial. People like Morgan, others like diploma. I'm a big fan of diploma. Actually, Dr. Hussein, he's a very confident doctor. He knows what he's talking about. He knows when he tells you that this is high yield, it means this is high yield. You can be tested on this, and you will see this when you start your world. You will see that a lot of questions, they are mentioned by him. So it's important to pay attention to what he's saying. Let's come to the next part, myths about step 1. Now the first one is that high scores are not only for those with good scores. Of course, here I mean medical school performance. Now, you don't need to be a giant nerd to score good. You just need a decent preparation, good time, good quality. Even if you're an average student, you can score very good. You can score 240 or even 250 plus. First aid and New World are not enough. I already talked about sources, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. First aid and New World, they are enough, along with videos, Kaplan videos, things that you feel that you're weak in, or if you have a lot of time. For example, if you're starting your preparation during your basic year, you can use Kaplan videos along with your lecture, your medical school lecture, so that you're preparing for both exams at the same time. Now, another method to add here, which is that this exam is very important, and it's the most important thing in your career. This is a big mistake, and this is a big lie actually. Now, why is that? This is an exam. It's nothing more than an exam. You have to know this, and you have to bear this in your subconscious mind. Dealing with this as if it is the most important thing in your life, this is very wrong. This will give you a lot of anxiety. This will give you distraction. You don't need this distraction. You need focus. So how to focus? You have to know the reality, which is that this is an important, but it's not the most important thing in your life. This will not determine if you're a good or bad physician. You may have bad environment, bad circumstances, and they may affect your performance. Bad things can happen out of your hand. Now, I'm not saying this to disappoint you or to discourage you, but I'm saying this so that you be realistic with yourself. Don't give you this exam more than it takes. I believe that medical students, most of them, they are obsessed about high scoring, and this is important, by the way. This exam, I'm not discrediting this exam. This exam, it takes a lot of credit, and it's very important, but it's not very, very, very important. It's not the most important thing. Even if you, unfortunately, if you did not score very good, you have step 2, and you can have other things to support your CV and to support your career, so important to bear this in mind. Okay, the final point to talk about is the common mistakes that I did, and that I hope that no one of you do these things. Now, common mistakes, the first one I've already talked about, which is not having a plan when to start and when to. This is very important. You have to know when to start your preparation and when to end your preparation. If you didn't have a vision for this, your preparation will be not focused, it will be not concentrated, and you will be, for example, from 0 to 100 in terms of information. Because you are not concentrating your efforts, by time 100 will be 90, 80, 70, 60, you will return to 0. So you have to focus your preparation. Very important to have the end, the last day where you should take your exam, to have it in your mind from the beginning of your preparation. The last point is starting question banks late. Now, I believe you should be starting question banks along with your first read. Now, most of you, they prepare their examination in the following plan: first read, second read, third read. This is a good plan actually, but in terms of details, it differs from one person to another. My suggestion is that your first read should be videos, Kaplan videos, especially Pathoma video for pathology, Kaplan video for biochemistry, and other things you can read first aid and Kaplan. Now, your second read, usually students start question banks. I believe that if you have enough time to watch a video, for example Kaplan video, then having a quick glance at first aid, then directly starting question bank, even if you solve 10 to 15 questions, it will be very good. Starting question banks early is very good. It helps you to memorize more, it helps you to think more. As I mentioned earlier, question banks, they are the most efficient way to prepare. Not the videos, not the just reading and keeping reading again and again and again. It will not help you. Solving question will help you more. So, finally, I want to thank you for watching this video, and hope you do your best in this exam. And please, if you have any question, let me know. I will put my email in the description box, and I will put my Facebook page. Let me know of any question, anything.